Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the first session on the research track on the first day of Copenhagen FinTech Week 2020. I'm Simon. So welcome. I will skip this one, but we are now in the research track, and we, of course, just want to thank our sponsors also here on the research track. But the first session of today here is we are going to talk about insurance. We are going to talk about mobility. We are going to talk about exciting, I think, fintech or insurtech partnerships in the insurance sector. And we have a great panel. I will welcome Line Dalsford from Tryg in a second, and she will introduce Tryg and the idea behind this panel. Line is the head of innovation or the innovation lead at Tryg. Tryg is one of the largest insurance companies in the Nordic. So please welcome Line and enjoy this session. I'll just leave here. Okay.
Hello everybody, and thank you Simon for having us. Tryg is one of the largest non-life insurance company in the Nordic region with activities in Denmark, Norway and Sweden. Every day we work quite hard to make insurance simple and safe for our customers. Let's have a short introduction. Hans Christian from iMove, what are you working hard on?
Hello, so my name is Hans Christian. I'm the CEO and co-founder at iMove. And iMove is a Norwegian car subscription provider. We let the users subscribe to an electrical car for everyday use. They have absolutely no commitment. They can swap car when they want. And they have access to a weekend car if they're doing something where the electrical car doesn't meet their needs. We also have a technical platform that allows third parties to offer their own car subscription services, so where Toyota and Lexus is one of our clients. And today we have around 500 cars on the platform and a monthly growth of about 30%, so growing quickly.
Thank you. And Thomas from GoMore, how about you?
Oh, you say he has to open the microphone? He turn off his microphone?
Thomas, it would be easier for us if you please turn on your microphone.
Yes, sorry. Good start. My name is Thomas. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of GoMore. And GoMore is active in 3 different business lines. So in ride sharing, so people driving from Copenhagen to Aarhus, for example, might as well take customers along the journey. Then we're also active in P2P rental. Again, people can rent a neighbor's car when they have to go to a summer house, visit friends, or different needs like that. And then we offer leasing, where you can lease a car from us, and then you can share it with your neighbors when you're not using it. And we're active in Denmark, Sweden, and Spain, and have a bit more than 2.5 million users, and around 30,000 cars that have been shared across the markets.
Thank you, Thomas. And here with us we have Orsi from Swiss Re. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi everyone, this is Orsi. I'm lead sales and delivery within Swiss Re's Automotive and Mobility Solutions unit. I think the name is a very telling one. We are working together with insurers, OEMs, and mobility providers to address new trends in mobility like automation, connectivity, and sharing of mobility, and help them design new types of insurance products that cover new customer needs that are arising from this shift in how mobility is consumed.
Thank you. And from Tryg in Denmark, we got Nikolai. Would you like to present yourself as well, please?
Yes, thank you, Line. Yeah, my name is Nikolai Bianco, and I work with Tryg at our headquarters in Denmark. And here I'm located in our cross-organizational innovation department called New Business and Customer Innovation. And within the team, we work focused on future mobility, tracking latest trends and technology solutions. And this includes identifying potential new business models, partnerships, and ecosystems for Tryg to take part in.
Thank you. And from Norway, Tryg Norway, Jannike.
Hi everybody, my name is Jannike Schumann Olsen. I'm the Director of New Business and Customer Innovation in Norway. I work together with Nikolai here and Lina, and we are trying to find the new product and services for the future of Tryg, and that includes a lot of new business models and of course taking care of the growing emerging customer needs due to differences in the business models.
Thank you, Jannike. And maybe let's start with you. What is Tryg's main challenge within mobility right now?
There's a lot of challenges for us, but one of our huge challenge is all the changes in the mobility scenery, which gives us, of course, also a lot of possibilities due to the digitalization and all the new platforms. More people take sustainability into account when they look into ownership of cars and of driving, of course, and hence the mobility choices they make are different from what we are used to seeing, both on the corporate side and the private and individual. So one of our main challenges is to keep up with all these new business models and stay relevant as an insurer for both the new and at the same time, of course, stay in the major business that we still have a lot of our income from. So new insights into data access, etc., gives us new possibilities, but of course raises some new challenges in our risk and pricing models.
Thank you. And Nikolai, maybe you like to add why is Tryg partnering up or investing in startups?
Yeah, well, mobility is important to Tryg now, and will be in the future. We have a strong established business here, and innovation within mobility is part of securing our future business model. So, of course, this is significant to us. This we see done in collaboration and not isolation. So mobility is an area on a significant change, both from technology and change ownership models, as Jannike mentioned. And we see that we take part in this journey. We know what our key competencies are, and these must very well be supported and backed by complementers. Value creation happens in these partnerships. And also we want to be present in the ecosystems where the customers themselves have chosen to be. And this is a task that is most easily solved through partnerships.
Thank you, Nikolai. I would like to go back to you, Jannike, and could you please turn off your mic if you're not on the air, because the sound is quite noisy. Jannike, why is partnership suddenly the buzzwords rather than co-innovation for Tryg?
Well, I think that co-creation or corporate innovation comes with a lot of challenges, of course, as well. But looking into partnerships, it's easier for us to get going. It could be more of a plug-and-play kind of test and launch. And I think as the moment of truth for our customer changes with the new digital platforms and everything, we have to stay in the value chain at other points of transaction that we perhaps normally have to be or have been. So it's important for us to actually look into how we reach our customers, and partnerships is a good way of reaching different kind of customers or the same customers in a new way. So I think for us it's a good way to test and learn, but also grow in different areas than we can if we just do it ourselves.
Thank you, Jannike. Nikolai, Tryg has its own co-working space called the Camp, and can you tell us a little bit about the Camp and the mobility track you're working on?
Yes. Well, the Camp is a physical innovation space that is located at Tryg headquarters in Ballerup. And here we invite startups to become part of our innovation agenda. And specifically in Q3 and Q4 this year, we have a highlight on mobility as a key area of interest to Tryg. And what we do is to invite interesting keynotes and opinion makers to our Camp. virtual because of Corona, unfortunately. But we do this to challenge ourselves and to set direction, and of course to identify relevant and interesting partners. I think perhaps we can even have a link to our next coming event, which is October 8th.
That would be nice. Thank you. Hans Christian from I would like to go to you and hear your opinion about, does this new business model that we see in mobility, more flexible business model, leads to more partnership from your point of view?
Yes, definitely. I think sort of for iMove, we have created a whole ecosystem universe of partners, and ranging from sourcing vehicles, financing, insurance, maintenance, changing tires, the whole lot. And making this work is not about the technical integrations, but it's about aligning incentives and integrating the business model. To name an example, when we went together with Tryg, we saw that both have a genuine interest of that the fleet cars are in good shape. So because of that, we share the profit on the insurance portfolio, and we collect mobility data to understand and nudge the consumer into the right behavior. And I think that's the future way of building businesses like this in the mobility space.
Thank you. And how about you, Thomas? Do you see it the same way?
Yes, I think it's a quite similar situation we see here at GoMore. So for a couple of years had a very strong partnership with Tryg, where it's very much key focus for us to drive this partnership to enable and give trust into especially the sharing part of our ecosystem, but also in our leasing business. We have multiple partnerships where we utilize all the great skills that have already been developed, and then use our skills within especially tech, branding and communication, and then in that way create winning partnerships together, utilizing each other's strengths. I definitely see that trend continuing and be more and more important, because it's getting more and more complex to deliver the mobility service than in the old days, where it was more one transaction, buying a car and put in insurance on this. Now it's maybe several hundreds transactions on the same car.
But I would like to continue with you. Do you see that the new challenging way of subscription-based business model and so on is a challenge for insurance companies? Or do you think, how does that make a difference in the market with all those new business model?
I think it could be a challenge over time for insurance companies, because of course it's rethinking a lot of things how it used to be and employing it in a new way, and that's always challenging. But at least my perception in the Nordic market is that the insurance players are quite well adapted and already started on this change.
What do you think that might be the main issue or concern about this new ecosystem or partnering?
I think it's mainly related to international expansion. So of course, many actors, like for instance GoMore, we are investing quite a lot and heavily in the technology, and we cannot get payback on that technology, for instance, from just being in one market. So we have to expand into multiple markets to earn attractive returns. And there, the insurance industry is very local based. So for instance, Tryg is very strong in Denmark and Sweden and Norway. But then in Spain, we have to have another insurance partner. And if we want to go to other partners, we have to create multiple insurance partnerships and also other partnerships. And thereby, it makes our expansion journey much harder than if we could go with one partner and then grow from there.
Thank you. And Hans Christian, how do you see that the insurance company are positioning themselves right in the ecosystem as well?
I think they're at least trying. So our experience, I definitely agree with Thomas, sort of carving out the whole universe of ecosystem partners and putting it into a new country is really challenging. One other issue that we touched upon is that when we created the dream customer experience that we wanted for our customers, Tryg didn't have like an on-the-shelf product that would fit that. But there, Tryg, I think, was open to create sort of a brand new insurance product to fit our needs. And that meant free mileage, risk-free returns, whoever can drive the car, wherever. When we presented all of that to the underwriting department, they didn't exactly respond positively to it. But we got them there, and now we see, based on the data, that actually the customers are behaving better than the average, and there are less claims. So sort of having the data to support new innovative products can help move it. And I just want to mention as well that we got Tryg to sign on that they assured us that we would not be exposed to any internal slow-moving decisioning processes or unfriendly core systems. And they've actually stick to that. So that's a good.
Nice job. Do you have any comment on that, Jannike?
I think Hans Christian pointed out that the exact, so to say, challenge when you have fast-moving startup or scale-up meeting with a corporate, which can be, of course, some kind of different kind of culture and what's possible and not. And I think the good thing is with this partnership is that we are able to challenge each other, so we can, of course, have our opinion on what they ask for due to all the, so to say, rules of governance, but they can challenge us, but we can also challenge them back, and together we kind of find the best possible solution, at least for where we're standing at the moment. So, of course, there are some differences, but we try to make them out for the best of both parties.
Thank you. And Orsi from Swiss Re, when do you decide, or how do you decide when to buy or build or partnering up with the startups? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
It's so for us, it's very much a fit for purpose question. Very honestly, we are partnering much more right now than I think we used to be in the past. So this is an organization that's been around for 155 years, and we used to be very much building our own things and going with our own things. But especially in the mobility sector, this is such a moving target at the moment. You don't know who's going to be the owners of the mobility ecosystem. So insurers need to get more flexible, and we are helping them with this. Being a reinsurer, one of our biggest assets is being overarching across the globe, being able to make connections between mobility providers and insurance companies, and then looking at all of these trends within mobility very holistically. So that's the partnership angle. Of course, from an insurance point of view, the Swiss Re risk know-how helps us to create assets and solutions to insurance companies and beyond. But we don't do that just by ourselves. So we build connected car propositions, but with Microsoft. We build an assessment for advanced driver assistance systems, but we do it together with BMW to get more and better data. So there's always this element of partnership and partnering up to, even when we build things together and bring that to customers at the end of the day together.
So it seems like a moving target, and it's quite difficult to get an overview. So do you have a more strategic partnership strategy, or how do you...
So we do have some bigger strategic partners, some of these partnerships which we also announced. I mentioned Microsoft, I mentioned BMW, which are things that also make it of course into the press. Sometimes we work with startups as well, right? So sometimes you see some of the startups bringing certain value. We just recently have done that for a specific aspect that we couldn't cover with new technology. We recently partnered with someone on who had an AI technology that we didn't want to build on our own, and we were just looking to find the right partner. So it's very much about looking at holistically what we're offering to clients and what do our clients need for us to build them where we can bring in value and finding the right partner for that.
So from your point of view, what is the market drivers within mobility and how does it affect your decision making for a partnership?
You mean for specific markets?
Yeah.
Within specific markets. So I think mobility is an interesting question because if you go from market to market, it's going to be a different landscape, very, very different, right? We come from a reality where it was all motor insurance, right? And then within Europe, there are differences, but at the end of the day, it's like a fairly standardized concept. It's not the case with mobility. So what we see with our clients is that depending on the culture of the country, maybe it's a public transport company that organizes mobility. Maybe it's ecosystems that have assets for mobility. Maybe it's just platforms that own that mobility journey. So understanding the market reality and what consumers' preferences are with mobility is definitely a first step to understand that market. And having, when you want to expand internationally, it's a very important point to find a partner that can help you understand that local market specific very well.
Yeah, thank you. And Nikolai from Tryg, have you a specific strategy for partnership in that mobility ecosystem, or what are your reflection on Orsius? You have to turn on your mic, please.
That probably helps. Well, naturally, we have measures for intended value creation within this area, but also, as Orsi mentioned, we look for partners that can support us in the local markets, and we are very well aware of the local market adaptation, and don't see that we can make one size fits all in this matter. What we do is to scout for technology that is probably more global reaching, and then adapt to the local market needs. And we very much put effort into scouting for these trends and consumer different behavior.
Thank you. Thomas from GoMore, in your future mobility strategy, what points would you point out that if a company would like to partner with you, what is your offering?
Yeah, so we have three different verticals, but the ones where we partner most closely with insurance is in the P2P rental space, and there our key asset is of course that we can bring a lot of transaction volumes with young urban customers that do not own cars. So you get access to a new customer group through us. So I think that's definitely one of the aspects making us an attractive partner. Now we also have multiple years of experience in the P2P field in various countries. So also learned the importance of risk mitigation along the way, which I think is probably also one of your challenges that startups are not necessarily the best risk mitigators in the beginning.
And Hans Christian from Ivo, what should make a company choose to partner up with you?
Probably a lot of things, but I think for corporates like Tryg, it's I think we're sort of very determined on our goal is to get cars on the road and get recurring revenue on those cars, and that is what drives us. So in a cooperation between iMove and Tryg, it's all about getting things done and getting it to the customers. And I worked a lot with large corporates like Tryg, and it's so easy to sort of stay in workshops and projects and business development and not sort of touching the real customers out there. So I think that's a value that at least we add to the new initiatives.
Yeah. What do you think that a startup should be aware of when they are partnering with a large corporate like Tryg? Could you make any recommendation?
it's at least you have to make sure that you get sufficient focus. It's very easy in the beginning to meet the hallelujah people that are very sort of fond of you, and then you get pushed down to a department, and it sort of gets you don't get the same traction. And I also think sort of assessing the ability to execute. If you're concerned about their ability to execute, it doesn't feel right, then you're probably touching upon something that will hold you back much more than a large corporate.
From Gomo point of view, have you any recommendation for how to partnering up with a large company like Tryg or maybe Swiss Re, or from a startup point of view?
Yeah, definitely. So I agree with what was just being said. I think that the connections between the startups and the people that will actually be working with the startup subsequently is very important to develop early on and have very clear expectation alignment. Who's gonna deliver what is a key factor. And I would also recommend, that if you don't feel that there is the right connection and energy and a real interest from the corporate to be a part of this field, then keep scouting for the right partner. And then I would definitely also recommend to find partners that hopefully can work with you in more than one country, because partnering up with a corporate when you come from a startup world is very time consuming and requires a lot of focus and energy to get it up and running.
And what about after the honeymoon? What will make a partnership successful from your point of view? How can you continue to have a good collaboration and have the same target, etc.?
Yeah, so then it starts. So in the beginning, it's very much about the idea and the time, the next phase and growth, etc. But I think it's also quite important that actually price levels are set such that that is still profitable for everyone involved. So it has to be a win-win business. I think that is key to keep the momentum on both sides, even if if it seems like an insignificant volume for the partner. I think it's important that it quite quickly turns to a profitable business.
And Orshi from Swiss Re, you partner up with a lot of startup, I guess. What is your reflection of iMove and Gomo? How do you make a successful partnership, do you think?
I completely agree. I think from the very beginning, early on, it is important to be transparent with each other, to really understand what both party brings to the picture, because you can lose a lot of time when you're fluid in terms of what's your value proposition. So that is extremely important. Having similar values and strategic direction is also extremely important, and keeping that alignment ongoing. So not just at the beginning, but all through that partnership, making sure that our strategic goals are still aligned. And what Thomas says, at the end of the day, this has to be a sustainable business case for all. So it has to bring value to the customer, but it also has to bring value to the parties. And it has to be very clear how we are all making money on this to be able to pay for our costs, and checking in with that all the time. That's important. Also in the longer term, I think it is also nice to partner with someone with whom you can do different projects and different countries together. So being able to work on broader things also helps with making a partnership stronger.
Thank you. iMove, is this a weakness or a strength to work with a strong brand like Tryg?
Yeah, I think it brings trust to our concept, especially when you're sort of fresh out in the market and you don't it's not a known brand. So then I think and it's an important thing that if something goes wrong, then you have a trusted partner that can help you through it. So I think so.
Yeah. And Yannick, from your perspective, do you recognize some of the challenging things that we heard about here?
Yes, I completely agree on both parties, both from the startup side, but also what Ursula says. I think it's very important that we can be transparent upfront and demand, so to say, that both parties come to the table with a clear agenda on what they want to perceive. And I think we can still learn to be better at this, but I think it's very important to be successful over time. And I think as long as we can create a win-win, as was mentioned, I think it grows the possibilities for extending partnerships with the same partner, but also a new partner. So I think that absolutely agree with what's been said.
Yeah. GoMo or iMove, you decide. I think it's very attractive for startups to get access to customer when you work with large company. Do you have any discussion about that, or how to handle customers with your partnership with Tryg? Maybe Hans Christian, you'd like to tell us more about that?
Yeah, sure. And that's actually an interesting topic for us, because Tryg, they insure the iMove fleet of cars. They actually don't know who is driving the car and who uses the car. So, and I think Jannicke really wants to know that. But our concept is sort of full flexibility and then changing the cars back and forth based on the needs of the user. So, but we are working on getting more transparency for Tryg to sort of get to know our customers as well. But it has to be something that the customers benefit from. And today we can sort of arrange that across the fleet. So I don't know if you have comments to that, Jannicke.
Jannicke, is there any concerns about getting access to the customers?
Not concerns, I think. I think it's more, we see it as a possibility to, of course, get even more insights so we can use. But I think at the moment it's working fine. And I think further on we have to see how can we get the insight we need to make the right decisions on our risk model offerings, etc. So I think this is going to evolve over time as well. And of course there are some GDPR issues regarding this as well.
Yeah. The last question from here, I think that Orsi, would you like to just tell us why we should partner up with Swiss Re?
Well, of course you should. That's number one. So what really sets us apart is being a truly international player, right? So we do have know-how in all of the relevant insurance markets that deal with mobility. So that definitely is something. The other thing that sets us apart from within the reinsurance space is that we go much beyond just reinsurance and risk taking. So building assets, building solutions, partnering, and really looking at these trends holistically and bringing value to be it an OEM, a mobility partner, or an insurer is definitely something that sets us apart.
Thank you, Orsi, and thank you everybody for your I can't pronounce it. Thank you for participating here at the mobility event. And if you'd like to learn much more about the future of mobility, you're welcome for the free sign up at the event at the camp. So thank you for your time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Lina. Bye.